Okay. If you're all wondering why I made this live stream, well, I'll tell you why. Because, well, here's the problem. I have a question. Is Dev going crazy? That's a question I'm wondering about Dev. Because a lot of people have been talking about Dev and the drama with Kirsha. Now, there's been a lot of content creators investigating into the whole, well, let's just say there was a, oh boy. Thanks to Kirsch's mod team who investigated the whole situation, well, let's put it this way. Deb kind of caught himself in a little bit of a lie, and a lot of people are talking about this situation. So I'm just going to go ahead and talk about this because the question that I have is Deb going crazy? That's the thing that I'm trying to ask people, because I don't know what's going on with Deb, because Deb's been acting crazy for years, and people are starting to notice the odd behavior that he's been displaying online, especially with a lot of content creators over the past many years and decades with him. Now, I'm not trying to, cancel him. I'm not trying to do anything, but this is going by what people have said about him, and I'm going to point out some of the things that happened to him that I find funny. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a video that someone made. I thought this was funny. This was kind of a meme that someone made that was like a year ago, and I thought it was kind of hilarious, and it is kind of funny. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys that video. And let me see here. All right. Let me see if I can get it right. Let me see if that's the right one. Okay, there we go. So I won't have to get any copyright strikes here. As you can see, this is the video. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the video right now and tell me what you guys think of this.
That's fine. Oh, the messages are being deleted.
All prevails.
The
They
left.
have now censored the word cabal in Dev's chat.
Cabal.
I view that as an absolute win.
Depp is being a real big fucking cunt. I don't know why he's being a cunt. For any evidence that I'm intoxicated. No evidence that I'm intoxicated at all.
Like, the weird hatred he has for you is only exacerbated by the fact that he keeps making it worse.
Hey Sargon, look at all the shit that the guy who says he's your friend is saying. Basically, I was the architect of their friendship falling apart.
The only thing I told Sargon was that you were fucking with the Minecraft server.
The way he frames it is like you raped him, and I'm not joking. You need to apologize for raping Deb.
So
Like,
I didn't just bully his blocks, I raped his blocks. The reason we attack the Minecraft server, Dave, isn't because we hate you irrationally, it's because you're inept. It's because you're so fucking bad at it. You were treating the community poorly. I would have given at least a 50-50 chance back then that you would respond with good humor.
He thinks any, negative response to anything he does is orchestrated by you.
We fucked with your Minecraft server, Dev. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I worry that Deb is going down the kraut route.
He definitely is.
He definitely. I don't know why he's being like Billy Big Balls in the other server.
So, for those who don't know who Kraut is, Kraut and T happened to be a content creator. I used to talk to him a long time ago. He was a really good guy until he had a falling out. Apparently, he doxed a content creator and also outed this content creator, even though I don't always agree with this person's content in particular, because she happened to be a alt-right German nationalist who believed in this racial reality thing that she was doing, and this kind of turned into a drama, and that's why a lot of people called him out on the fact that he basically reported on the person's opinion, did not like this person's opinion, and therefore became a lefty later on. And I don't hold it against Kraut and T, because I understand he was angry, and it was a reasonable anger. So moving forward. I hope he's okay. I hope he's okay.
I don't think he was expecting Cabal to arrive.
Cabal does prevail. I guess this is like the lost episode of Dumping the Scrum.
Cabal.
Some weird
The lost final episode. Just for everyone's information, Dev has now given the ultimatum that if we never talk about him again, he'll never talk about us again.
No.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, he'll talk about us behind closed doors, plenty.
I'm gonna bury the hatchet with each of you. If you want to discuss why you got banned, DM me and I will go into the server logs and find your case. If it's something I'm at fault for, I will apologize to you. If it's something you're at fault for, you'll apologize to me. We'll talk it out. And you can get an invite back onto the main server if that's what you want.
Something I've learned from running servers, Dev, is that they do not need your server. If you're not running it well, if it's just your personality, and...
Yeah, so... Ant Paladin of Luna said while banning people on the server from his in waves. Wow.
If they've gone off your personality, then you need to beg them to come back. You need to do something to make it worth their while to come back. He is sitting on his throne, and he is willing to hear the pleas of the peasantry. What a saint. You're going to get some nasty messages from Dev this evening.
Oh,
if
he's going to be
watching
so
this.
mad. He's going to be so mad at me, I guarantee it.
Don't do that again.
What did I do? This is Aiden Paladin. So, a lot of people are kind of bringing up the drama with him about his Discord. So, this was like years ago, and I get he doesn't like the trolling and everything, but when it comes to the situation with him, is that whenever people troll him, and I admit I don't like trolling either, but when it comes down to it, you know, he got trolled pretty badly on his Discord. Calling it the Cabal. Let's put it this way, it was like years ago over Crown T situation, and people are still bringing up the Crown T situation when he did his like academics thing. And I remember that drama. Like, let me see, Crown T was, oh man, Kraut and T. Oh boy, that drama was so bad. Like, I remember the Crown T. Like, a lot of people are re-uploading a lot of Crown T stuff. Oh boy, the plagiarism myths and everything. Like, this is kind of the thing that people were upset about with Kraut, and I don't think Kraut was a bad person, but a lot of people kind of like debunked Kraut and T thing. And the problem with Kraut is that I don't think he's a bad person, but a lot of people kind of like make fun of him, as you can see right here. Evil Doxers, Annie Worski's a moron, Kraut and T is evil. Like, these were like years ago, bringing up Kraut and T in his Discord of academics. And I remember that old drama with him forming a group of academics to debunk arguments that happened a long time ago. Naked Ape debates Crowd T on stream. And I remembered this thing. Like, that's another thing.
No, we have fucking not. We have not done a knockout study on nigger dick size. Nigger, 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 nigger.
Oh my god, I remember that. That was so fucking... Debating Crowd T on dicks. Oh yes, Crowd T responds to Holocaust deniers. Yeah, the geopolitics of this whole situation. My thoughts on Crowd T and Kilroy. Yeah, and I remember the Kilroy thing. Like, bringing up Kraut and T's Discord. Like, let me see if I can find that Discord drama thing, because this is so funny. Discord. Oh, more drama discussing Kraut with the Discord thing. Now, I remembered he had a Discord, and Kraut and T's Discord server with Ian Miles, Chong, Benamir, and Jeff Holiday, and I remember Jeff Holiday. Now, it's free to dox buffet, basically. Everyone's IP basically discovered since the source code gives the user's name. Yeah, there was a lot of, like, doxing involved in this. A lot of people were talking about the cancel Kraut culture thing that Deb did years ago. And people were literally making fun of this whole thing. If that's the TDRL, if I remembered from it. And I do feel bad for Kraut, though. He was a great content creator, but he got called out pretty badly on his mistakes. So as far as I know, this is what's going on. Bringing up the drama with that, but everyone's like bringing up the drama that I'm gonna just focus on right here, because this is what happened. Now, this is the drama that I'm trying to focus on, because I do like Kirsch. She's a sweet lady. And this is so funny. It is so funny because oh god, this is pure cringe. But he knew about the...
I'll just ban you outright.
Leave me the fuck alone!
So I'll just be completely straightforward. I am not involved in any gay ops against Kirsch. None of my mods are involved either. I think this is just people trying to start trouble. If you're a part of my community and you're involved, knock it off. Leave Kirsch alone. If I catch anyone stirring up trouble, I'll just ban you outright. None of my mods are involved. I am not involved.
Oh, wow. So, the TDRL of this whole situation, what happened was a mod from Short Fat Otaku had beef with Kirsha over a VTuber that they wanted her to collab with, and it so happened to be a VTuber named Spooky BT. And Spooky BT had a let me see if I can look this up, because I don't want to disclose any sources, because it's sort of a private matter with the source. This became such a situation where, according to, I actually had to post this source to a thread that happened. So what happened was, according to a source that I read, and I'm going to give credit where credit's due, it came from the Virtual Asylum. Now, according to them, they mentioned this in a thread, and this is what the person said. Okay, to start from the beginning, before being Sheena, she was a 120-ish viewer indie named Dumpling Shiara. Spooky VT was a 2-viewer femboy autistic VTuber who was not streamed for so long, so he's been demoted to VTweeter, who collaborated with Shiara because they all belong to the budding Western VTuber WBT thread click from 4chan. Spooky No Meme tried to groom Shiara. He tried to slide into her DMs and date her, Shiara being entirely too polite. And for those who don't know, Sheena happens to be from Phase Connect. That's what she's referring to. Mildly autistic herself, instead of slamming it down on telling him to fuck off and politely fuck up with the WVT clique. Maintain a polite working communications with Spooky that Spooky's autistic ass thought was flirting back. Shiara had the infamous boyfriend's wontons moment. One of her bits at the time was to joke she was forever alone, but most of the audience understood because she's a person allowed to have a life and have a sense of kayfabe. And they were fine with just kept watching. Spooky went full schizo. That bitch led me on. Unicorn mode and proceeds to leak out 66 which turned to be autistically stupid. and that humiliated him. So what actually did publicly embarrass Spooky, because everyone without autism could see who was being a creep and not getting the message. Shiara was being way too polite, and he was basically laughed out of the indie scene. Fast forward a year, Shiara was graduating months ago, and then the Phase Gen 2 trailer drops. I could tell right away who Sheena was, and so did Spooky. He proceeded to shit up PCG per weeks, anti-posting Sheena. Lots of people suspected he was doing it, and confirmed when one time he showed a screenshot on Twitter post where he carelessly cropped it and showed a log of the user as Spooky's alt Twitter account. Spooky stopped in streaming but stayed in the community. One person he apparently friends with, named Dragon Fat Deposits, who happens to be the mod of Short Fat Otaku, aka Dev, by the way. So Dragon Fat Deposits, or DFD for short, the person who happens to be the mod for the YouTuber Short Fat Otaku. Back in December last year, DFD reached out to Kirsha under the pretenses to set up a collab between Spooky and Kirsha. Remembering Sheena's stuff, politely declined. They, Spooky and DF, got pissed about this and tried to lay some sort of stupid drama trap for Kirsha after this. However, she either didn't fall for it or sniffed it out. Either way, the trap relied on Kirsha reacting a specific way. So keep in mind, whenever you piss off a 4chaner, they can be that autistic. And stupid. So this is kind of what happened. She didn't, however, trigger the man. The trap was still sent. The tweet was supposed to implicate her. However, since the tweet was made no sense based on what had gone down, Kirsha had mentally tracked DFD as the drama grifter, but didn't kick her out of the community. Yesterday, somehow, Short Fat Otaku came up on the stream, and DFD ran to him and let him know in an effort to try to stir the shit up. Discord got semi-nuked for it. DFD is banned. So SFO got exposed for banning the drama chaser and potentially trying to farm VTuber drama. Spooky is still crippling autistic. So that's what was mentioned on the thread from Virtual Asylum. That was mentioned right there. And I will show you who the VTuber that they're talking about, which I already know. This is the VTuber that Spooky was lusting for, and failed miserably. So keep in mind, that's what happened. It was over stupid drama. And Dev knew about this. This was the dumbest drama I really thought was stupid. And a lot of people are noticing this in the community, that he has become a disingenuous person. Yeah. So this became a situation to where people are a little bit upset with him about this whole issue. And yeah, this is becoming a concern about Dev because he's worried about his content being, like people are probably not going to watch it because of this drama. He's worried because he's sort of kind of, I believe, concerned about this because this whole situation with Dragon Fat Deposits or DFD kind of really hurt his reputation, especially in the content sphere of things because of what Dragon Fat did. It really hurt his brand. And I mean, it really did hurt his brand. Now, a lot of people are talking about this because this has become a situation to where people are looking into this whole thing. And they found a lot of cringy shit that happened to him, especially Aiden. Like, I know Aiden Paladin, who a lot of people are talking about. This is becoming a situation to where people are starting to question Dev's integrity because apparently 2 YouTubers came out, and I thought it was interesting because the whole drama that happened with Kirsha and Dev, I thought it was kind of interesting what was going on. Apparently Aiden came out and said this, and I thought it was really interesting. Now you can see right here, if people don't understand why myself and a very, very broad list of others are preparing a document to describe the behavior of Deb, Short Fat Otaku, please get me that it's only after years of being lied about, most of us felt compelled to even start to do so. We had to. I probably shouldn't say anything about this because he will likely be trying to delete fucking everything, knowing that there's so many people finally so sick of his lies that we want to expose them, how he hurts and abuses people. He will lie in response to this. That assured. The reality is that I have taken some shift from this person for so she basically said she was taking shit from Short Fat Otaku. Sorry if I misread that. For a long time, but my shit pales in comparison to what he has done to the man who I have now become convinced, and you will see evidence of, he wanted to wear as a fucking skin suit. I was just a casualty. He's a sack of shit. He lied about me, then refused to come on stream talking about it. Hey, you want to add your experience to the document video? I'm not shocked at it. He legitimately can't not lie about people. Love to have your input. So, yeah, sure, I'll send you something. Because this is kind of the thing that a lot of people have been bringing up. But what was going on with Deb and Aiden Paladin that kind of caused them to do this? Now, I'm a little bit not so sure what's going on, because is it that so Spoon is yes. Are you in touch with Kirsten? Spoon is yes. She said something was coming, and I didn't realize how it... so, yeah. Let's just say this is becoming a situation where, oh, yeah, this is bad for Short Fat Otaku. So, let's see. Can't help but wonder at this point is if Deb really hates women, let alone anyone who is much more wildly inconvenienced to him. I think he does hate women personally, yes. given that the way he acted towards Kirsche and picking me, as well as myself. So a lot of people don't know. He made a video about picking me, but it was due to the fact that Picking Me chose to play Hogwarts Legacy, but she wasn't able to play that game due to the fact that there was some drama with that game. There was a protest that was happening, which was a boycott, and this boycott became a situation to where a bunch of transgender activists decided to go online and harass people over the fact that they were playing this game. I personally didn't have an issue with this game. I don't think it was a bad game. I actually did like the game. Might have to finish that game because it was actually a fun game. But at the time, I was busy working, and also I was into getting a new computer, and I managed to play only a few times, and my computer burnt out, which I was pissed off because that was actually a decent computer. And it, so what happened was my computer short-circuited and caused a fire. No joke. I'm not joking. And it was a really decent, it was an I think it was like an i7 Core K model. And it was a really decent model for gaming, but sadly this was kind of the thing that happened. So oh great, the ramblings of a Filipino nerd has, so a lot of people are talking about this. I think he does hate women personally. Like, this was kind of the funny thing about this, and a lot of people have been talking about this because it kind of exposes Deb's situation, and I think Deb is crazy. That's what I believe Deb is. I think he's mentally ill because the way he's behaving towards people and the way he treats people, I don't know what's going on, but maybe he is crazy. He banned me from his chat for being a fan of yours. Sorry, man. Sounds about right. No worries. I hate the pod scum just as bad as I hate Dick and Vito. Oh, that's funny. I will make a video on... Will you make a video on this? Yep. Thanks. You know, anything about Kirsch's document drama, I don't want to read 300-page document. Yeah, and it's like, I already trust Kirsch, and I will be seeing Dev being crazy. I dare you. Yeah, so apparently someone actually knows Deb is crazy. And I was right to say Deb is crazy. Yeah, short, fat commie. Okay, so remember how he cuts ties with Scrump because he became too much of a far-right extremist for him? Pepperidge Farms remembers. Yeah, I remember Scrump, though. And I feel bad for Scrump, though. He decided to be... Like, he's a journalist now. I don't blame him. Like, he's like a published Aiden arc. I had enough of this dude. Like, people are literally making memes of this stuff about him because... And this is not just that. Like, there is a lot of videos about him popping up. Let me see if I can get this to work. Okay, back to the... Okay, there. Black screen. Black screen right there. Black screen. All right. So, what has transgressed on this whole situation? Because a lot of people are talking about this, and I thought it was funny. Because this is becoming a situation where... Okay. Deb. because he has caused a lot of drama. And of course, this is the video that kind of by V. Now I'm gonna go ahead and
at Mint Mobile.
I hate when they do the whole Mint Mobile thing. Okay, we go back to this.
We like to do the opposite of what Big Wireless does. They charge you a lot.
You had to do the intro. TDR. This whole situation.
Would you guys stop? Like, just how much is it until it's enough? I'm even trying not to respond to these things, because heaven forbid, if I even drop one line, then the wall of text goes by 5 meters. Like, why not be productive? Why not put these walls of text on the American border so that you can actually enforce the American sovereignty when it comes to Mexico? Why do they have to go into my DMs? I don't even know what's happening. I don't know what Dev is doing or where he is doing it, but apparently a lot of people are coming into my DMs and they're just spamming me with these massive manifestations of unsolicited walls of text. I have a life, believe it or not. I do other things. So anyway, I go and I ask Kirsche, what the fuck? What is going on? And she gives me 300. I'm like,
300 pages.
300 pages of text. Like, motherfucker, look. I go on Twitter and I see someone post 20 lines. 20 fucking lines. And I need ChatGPT to ask it to summarize that. But I put the 300 pages of text. Even ChatGPT is mind-fucked. Can't you summarize it? Like, look, when they went after Dr. Disrespect to cancel, there wasn't even any text. There wasn't even any text. What are you doing? All jokes aside, though, I will tell you my version of the story so that people stop bothering me. Although I'm sure that what happened, because it's like, V, why do you associate? But do you associate? They're not my associates. I do not do business with them. I do not start a multi-cooperative venture, putting Vosh in charge of it, right? We do not have worker co-ops. These are people I talk with, and if it bothers you, fine, whatever. I just like, but the association, but do you associate? But do you know what that guy? But do you disavow? It's like, how do you live like this? Is that how you live in your life? Is that actually, no, like, not the thermally online thing, but like in your life, in your day-to-day, is that like actually the mindset? Because I didn't do anything wrong. I'm not even involved in this shit. Okay, so I was working. See, now that was a business association. I get you can call it like that. I was working for the Archcast. I do associate with Arch. Okay? If Arch does something wrong, I still vouch for him. 100%. Trust the man. But I was working for Arch on the Archcast. And my job was to get guests. Because I'm on friendly terms, believe it or not, with most content creators. Because I don't give a fuck about the associate. But he associated with the associator and the associate. I don't give a shit. Okay? I keep it professional. I only talk about, hey, is this an interesting person that can get views? Alright, I'll ask Arch if he wants him on the Archcast. That's it. That's the extent of my thing. I'm not the judge. I know that people want me to be the Pope and to look at the piety and the virtue of the person, and I should actually go and dig deep into their rich history, into their vibrant history, and find out what they did in 1995. I'm not paid enough for that, okay? I was just paid enough to bring interesting guests. And that was the extent of it. And I brought many guests. Many guests. In fact, I also used this level of skill, this level of networking, which is a very dark job. It requires you not to care about associations. Not everyone can do it. You become a very dirty person for doing it. Because you gotta associate. So
and never came back.
I use this skill in order to help other smaller content creators, right? Because it's how you grow on YouTube. The algorithm doesn't really help you. So the way you grow is you set up some form of co-op, some form of stream, right? And you bring people together, they talk, the audience likes it. The audience also likes it 10 years later when they find who associates with whom. Whatever the fuck. Okay, so that was what I did. And I got Kirsche, right? Because at the time, Kirsche was getting in a controversy with Tim Pool. She was growing in numbers. And I was like, all right, well, she would be an interesting guest to have, wouldn't she? And she gets invited to the Archcast. But then I find out that, no, actually, she's got beef with Dev. And I'm like, what is the beef about? 300 pages worth of text. Okay, you know what? That's fine. And I remember Arch said, if she wants to come back, she's re-invited. I think Dev said that if she comes, like, he's leaving or some shit like this. And Arch was like, well, I don't fucking care, you two sort it out. Like, that was the extent of him. That is pretty much how I feel. Like whatever, it's just, is it illegal? No. Okay, work it out. But now this is years after the fact. Like, how many years is it now? 2 years? Give or take? Yeah, it's almost like 2 years after the event.
This is like a 2-year beef.
And there's people giving me walls of text. Let's skip that part. Look, I'll tell you what I'll do, alright? Put it up to a vote where you decide who do you want me to disavow. I already disavowed them. I do, out of principle. Like, he fucked Dungeons and Dragons for me. I disavow. Is that good enough? Like, do you want me to do something else? If you want me to do something else, I will not disavow Arch. Like, that's off the table. I don't care what he did. Again, as long as it's not illegal. If he did something illegal, then I will disavow. But other than that, everything he does, I avow with Arch. It's 2024. I don't fucking know what he's going to do in 2025. Chances are I will avow it. If something changes, I'll let you know. Alright? But that's my stance, okay? I already disavow Dev. I don't even stream with him anymore. Like, I'm not even on the... What the fuck do you want from me? I even go into political spats with him on the Twitter. Like, what more do you expect? I don't know. So, yeah, Dev disavowed. Arch avowed. Is there anything else that requires of me other than reading the shit? Because I'll do it. Let's just skip the step. Let's just skip the step and pretend that I read it. If you want me to be outraged, I'll be outraged. If you want me to be cheerful, I'll be cheerful. Like, whatever it takes. Just tell me, okay? Like, work it out with you guys. Make a poll. Make a statistic. Come up with something. But please, let me know. Is it possible that a person can just not care about something? Like, is this allowed?
Kirsha, what the fuck?
Can we have it that you can have certain acquaintances that do spurgouts and you just don't care?
Deb,
like, you're sitting on your chair and you're the worst thing imaginable and you just do not care. And people comment like, hey, did you see what John did? And I don't care. But how can you not care? You associate with him. I don't. Now there's two possibilities. I can pretend I care to make it shut the fuck up. But do you honestly want me to be this disingenuous?
And they've been scrapping
what I can actually tell
Discord
you,
like rats.
I know you want, but I don't. This is like a telenovela. In case you haven't noticed, I have a cock.
Hiding it.
Okay, I'm a guy. I like action
those who
things.
Want TDRL,
like when Boogie had the gun. See, like that was something that I wanted to talk about. It's action.
DFD, which is Dragon Plant
There were things
Deposits,
happening. This is like just like watching The Young and the Restless on my screen.
So this is kind of the thing.
And it just keeps going.
That's kind of the thing that's going on. Like, people are bringing up this. Deb wouldn't have the credibility if it had not a shot on how he responded to Destiny, not blackmail Kirsha and went on his word while Kirsha had to walk on eggshells not have many recent past examples of him being disingenuous dick. I'm sorry, but Deb is clearly in the wrong, and his apologies are hollow at best. Deb is bad faith. Like, I know a lot of people were saying that Deb is bad faith. Like, people, this is another video example.
I am running to be president of the United States, and
like, it's always this video.
Monetized. You know, I had this spat on the Twitter, and I want to shamelessly monetize it for entertainment purposes, and also showcase why Dev, otherwise known as Short Fat Otaku, annoys the hell out of everyone lately. Even V himself is stumped by Dev's actions, saying he seems to be on a speed run to piss everyone off. This is one of the convos that sparked the whole VTubing thing, going all the way back to the Picame fiasco, which V handily won, by the way. And once again, he doesn't listen to any of the arguments, which is what causes lamented Guide here to say this. Dev, right here is precisely why I stopped watching you. Look, it's fine to disagree, even to be wrong, but what I can't stand about you anymore is you refuse to listen, or even try to. You always dismiss arguments you disagree with. Case in point, you're doing it with V. With him replying, replying, "This is why I am happy you got filtered." You look at me replying to V and think it's me dismissing his arguments or not understanding them, while you simultaneously don't understand mine. It is good you are on the outside of my community now. And Skooma getting in on the action as well, saying, "You may not directly shit on people, Dev, but people feel shat upon regardless by your attitude of disregarding comments. When people try to explain how you are wrong, you can't just take an L. You have to nitpick some semantic or technicality on how you are right." Which is true. Dev can have an entire comment section telling him why he is wrong over and over again, and he will flat out refuse to ever take an L. And this is why so many people can't stand you right now, Dev, because you have a massive fucking ego. And that's me saying that.
Yeah.
And not only do you have this massive fucking ego, it's incredibly brittle. Because as people point out to you, you have this disturbing lack of any humility, and you just want to sit in this echo chamber being surrounded by simps who all huff your farts and kiss your ass.
Yeah.
It's no wonder people call you a drama whore. And yeah, you can say I'm doing the same thing right now. The difference is I bring receipts for my arguments. I don't just pull them out of my ass. Here's my tweet that made me get in on all of this, because I found everyone but V's arguments to be bollocks, because they were. I can't believe...
Yeah, and you notice that he kind of says the N-word a lot. You notice that he says the N-word. N-word, I thought politics was the only thing you were wrong about. I can't believe I have to defend this damn Romanian, but his attackers are worse. If you can't understand the man enjoys an animated avatar with a normal human reaction, then what the fuck is wrong with you people? It's also Pippa Pipkin is hilarious. Come on. Also, that was kind of what I forgot to mention.
If I have to defend this damn Romanian, but his attackers are worse. If you people can't understand the man enjoys an animated avatar with normal human reactions, then what the fuck is wrong with you people? Also, Pipkin Pippa is hilarious. Come on. When this one's swinging a miss with the N-word at me, I'm African, Dev. By Canadian law, doesn't that land you in prison in that commie hellhole you live in? I actually replied to him to that saying, coming from you, that's like a serial killer lecturing me on morality. Fuck off, Canadian. V coming in, imagine how bad your takes were that you make the political guy give a response. Is why I said to him, the whole of the internet is dunking on his ass right now and no one agrees with him. Take the L and shut the hell up, dude. Your ego is out of freaking control. Look at this pathetic follow-up as well. Recall the previous post? When people try to explain how you are wrong, you can't just take the L. You have to nitpick some semantic or technicality on how you are right. Dev, the whole of the internet consists of 100 people who don't watch me and I don't make content for. You ever see something so idiotic you think it's a trap because your gut reaction is saying, there is no way in hell you believe the stupidity that just escaped your face?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of those moments.
He's kind of
If the whole of the internet consists of only 100 people who don't watch you, who the hell is watching you? Yeah, I can nitpick as well, mind you. Secondly, you are on a live stream with Rags and Sargon and V, who bested all three of you because he argued his niche for the merits of its content. Meanwhile, you three dismissed the entire entertainment genre for its apparent simping culture, which isn't even a phenomenon exclusively to the V-tubing side. Your arguments sucked ass. V is sitting on a throne of wins here. Also, imagine being Spoon making a democracy argument. Your popularity doesn't make you right. This is the dude who tried to dunk on me saying, I thought politics is the only thing you were wrong on.
Your
Meanwhile, he can't even use democracy correctly. So let's listen to Professor Leiden for a moment, shall we?
Let's put it this way. What is really... Let's put it this way. It does not... Your popularity does not make you right in any way. Same with Donald Trump, as you would call it. Donald Trump could always be wrong about something, but as far as I know, just because he's popular doesn't make him right. Just because, and you're doing the same thing as Donald Trump, Dev, just because Donald Trump believes he's right doesn't mean he's in the right. Just because he's popular doesn't make him right.
Democracy. Democracy is, don't forget that, a political term. It's not a social term. And it answers the question, who should rule? And the answer it gives is the majority of politically equal citizens, either in person or through their representatives.
The point there, who should rule? This is not politics, Dev. There's no discussion of power or who should rule here. It's simply an overwhelming amount of participants on this space expressing their opinion here on why you are wrong.
Yeah.
Look at this. Imagine the guy loving democracy denouncing 100 people, the majority out of hand, proving you are a hypocrite to your own standards. That anyone is even taking you serious is sad, although not surprising. You haven't made a single reasonable point. You're just talking garbage. I do watch you, and I find it weird you care about this at all. You aren't acting much different than when the chicks on Chatterbait start fuming they're losing viewers to Melody, so the only reason I can think of why you have this stance is jealousy. Viewers have said the same thing, mind you. He's upset the VTubers are muscling in on the anime stuff, and just like Tim Pool, he's greedy and wants all of the pie. I've watched your content consistently for years. I'm even in your Discord, and the way I describe you to others is this. He's well researched and gives good opinions 90% of the time, but occasionally he gives a terrible take with no evidence and clings to it like grim death.
Yeah.
I've literally watched every single video and stream you've uploaded on your main channel for at least 3 years now, and I can tell you, you're very wrong right now. I've been watching you for years, Dev, and many people are disagreeing with you. You are just being weirdly head-assed. And is Dev going to listen to any of this? No, because Dev doesn't care for any fans, only hardcore loyalists like Zealots who can subsist on huffing his half-assed farts. Cheers for watching, and once again, I apologize for nothing.
Yeah, so that's kind of the thing. Never go full Canadian. That's the thing that happened. So, here's another one. And it is kind of funny how a lot of people are pointing out these issues with Dev, because a lot of the things that happened with Dev over the years has brought a lot of attention to what is going on. And the fact that I think Dev is going crazy because the way he's behaving and the way he's showing signs of those behaviors, it seems that Dev has an issue. And I think Dev needs to address those issues because, quite frankly, I think this is kind of disturbing of him displaying this type of behavior online, especially with the whole situation with Kirsha. I think this is the problem with Dev. Dev is afraid of being hated, but unfortunately he... well, let's put it this way. Already he's getting hate. And he's afraid of he's afraid of not dishing out against the fire of what he's dealing with right now. And I don't know what to tell you guys, but it sounds like to me a lot of people have had to point out to him a lot of the things that happened. So here's another thing that happened.
And Ocho said, Kirsha has been unfairly attacked by Dragon Fat deposits, has been allowed by Dev, and perpetrated by Raging Bull, or perpetuated rather. This stems from her refusal to collab with Spooky a year ago, almost 2 years ago. Minor spelling error, obliterated. And this is part 1 of a series of me going over the document. Cordovan Splotch, who was mentioned in my document as someone who said he would be willing to infiltrate into my server further on the behest of Dragon Fat deposits. Said, yeah, and now Dragon Fat Deposits community is imploding as we are figuring out he has been catfishing us for over 13 years! And someone said, wait, is it really imploding? Fat Deposits and Cordovan Splotch says, yes, a handful of us are currently sifting through the debris, trying to figure out what the hell has been going on for the past many years. The doc from Kirsha is all true, and DFD blew up his 13 to 15 year successful grift over a spurg fit he had about Kirsha and dragged us into. All right, so there's 2 options here, chat. There's 2 options here. 1, man who associates with people who have been lying for 2 years is also lying to get me to notice it so they can say, aha, Kirsha will just add anything to the document. She doesn't fact check. Or DFD's really been a man this whole time. And that is what caused his spark fit towards me. Imagine a woman being bullied by multiple men online. Holy shit, Kirsha can't stop winning. I dropped the doc. I out Dev as a manipulative sack of shit. All of his old fucking associates are like, hey, yeah, we're gonna put together a care package as well, buddy. A DFD is apparently a trans harasser. What else is going to be revealed? can't stop, won't stop. You're beating me to death with hammers for the stream title? Wait, why? Do you not like dad puns? Are you not a fan of dad pun?
Oh,
Most of SFO's friends are men, to be fair. It's just like, you know, it is short fat otaku. I should have figured any moderator he'd have, it's probably gonna be a man, you know? We're running out of storage for WS. I don't know what that means! Broset44, they give the 5-month member. Thank you. Thank you. All of this was 100% avoidable. Imagine you have a successful grift, if true, right? If Cordovin's not lying out of his ass. Because that's all that group of people does.
Yeah.
If true, that is fucking crazy. That he managed to fool people for 15 fucking years.
15
Yeah,
years.
Devin is AGP harem. The 13 fucking somewhat, if true, holy shit, Jimbo is gonna have the craziest cancer laugh. So it isn't two women fighting after all. Take that, Ark. Alright, we're back in the game. We had a minor segue for winning.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what's been happening. And here's another thing that happened.
Back in 2022, I lost two very important people in my life.
So
Big
here's
figures.
a video.
It really wasn't until February of this year that I finally gave therapy.
Spoony, which I call him. Artistic utensil.
Oh man, did this launch me into 6th gear in a heartbeat. So I put a tweet that went viral for my Twitter following anyway, where I said the following: every person that calls himself a centrist is just a limp-wristed leftist who doesn't like the current association with the left as they drift further leftward, yet spend 99% of their time bitching about the right. Tell me I'm wrong. Now, this was partly inspired by someone in the comment section of the Starship video writing, I'm sick of the both sides fallacy. Sometimes one side is objectively sane and normal, and the other side are dribbling morons. Now, naturally, I agree with this, despite how it does seem to violate this stupid democratic notion of meeting in the middle and the need to compromise. And as I've said before, the problem is the left is a gradient, the right is absolute. Meeting in the middle results in a left win only, because the right is not supposed to move and compromise. Slowly conceding and eroding traditions results in a loss of traditions. Frame-breaking stuff, I know, but anyone who still defends the regime in any capacity, I swear has a shrine to a hammer and sickle somewhere embedded in their psyche. By the way, someone called the irate thinker, I pray that name is ironic, said this is horseshoe theory in action. How? Where? Let me explain this from my perspective, because again, pattern recognition. The most limp-wristed of twinging right-wingers will call themselves center-right. They have the distinction. Whereas those who call themselves centrists are always leftward drifting.
Yeah.
There's no theory of anything here. This is my observation. Now, someone sent me a DM about this that ended with the following. Ironic how Dev calls you a communist, even though liberalism is more inclined to lead to communism. I'm assuming that's a reference to my video about Sargon schooling James Lindsay on communism's emergence from liberalism. And I thought, wait, Dev called me a communist? Where? And then I see him quote-tweeting me saying this. This has some real liberals are the handmaidens of fascism commie energy. Dev, what the fuck are you talking about? Before you called the neo-reactionaries proto-fascists, now where I called the cringe centrist drifting leftists, I'm showing commie energy. What does that even mean, commie energy? I'm a monarchist, I oppose both of these. Are you that stupid and World War II brain to insinuate opposing the leftward drifting centrist is projecting commie energy? If I was an actual communist, hypothetically, why would I insult the leftist drifting further leftward? This is the kind of bollocks you spew that makes people think you're an idiot. Where is the logic here? DJ and Realist coming in. No, one is true and the other isn't. The left is making progress and pushing further. If what the left was saying was true, this wouldn't be the case. If I say 2 + 2 = 4 and a leftist says 2 + 2 = 5, which they unironically have done, yes, we are both using math, but one is correct. With the Canadian commie coming in, no, you're both wrong. Liberalism means liberalism, not some other thing you hate. Because you see, in the mind of the regime-simming Canadian madman, he wants to live in a period of time, frozen in time, and for whatever reason is unable to come to terms with the fact that periods aren't static. And I know he knows this is not possible,
And that's the
but he
biggest
carries
problem
on
with
as if it is a
Dev.
simple case of, in case of emergency, break glass and turn back the clock. Very much the epitome of the
I don't
Return
know
to
if he's
Fresh Prince kind of
trolling or
liberal.
is he
Once
trying
again,
to-
liberalism
this is the
is not
thing.
static. He can't seem to tell the
And this is the thing. I don't know if he's trolling or being an asshole about trying to troll, because whenever asked about this, because this is kind of the thing, like one side can be right and the other side can be wrong, and he just comes up with this bullshit notion of, no, you're both wrong. It's like I think the problem with Dev is that Dev, whenever he's confronted by somebody, I think he's kind of insecure about it and then goes off on a tangent. And this is kind of the thing that I have the problem with too. I have a problem with being this way too. But I do confront people. I do try to confront people and try to talk to them. And I try my best not to be angry with them. Because I know that it's very difficult to talk to people and communicate with people about these issues that I have with them, or I have an issue, or they have an issue with me. And I try to talk to them, and at times it can be difficult for Dev too, because I can see what his problem is, because he has some hidden insecurity that's probably triggering him to act this way.
liberalism has ideals and creates hierarchies, which in the minds of communists are seen as oppressive, and so liberalism can also fuel a communist uprising. There seems to be a kind of disconnect of people arguing between liberalism is the fertile ground that can grow communism versus communism is the final metamorphosis of liberalism. Personally, I don't give a right's bollock. I prefer to look at the end result. Both of them are the same, so who the hell cares? And one of my followers, Smith, summed it up brilliantly with this very short word train. Center means middle. Centrist opinions, middle of acceptable opinions. Middle of the Overton window. Overton window is steered by the elite. Regime is part of the elite. Therefore, supporting the regime is a centrist. Absolutely true, which is why mainstream conversations are so frickin' boring. Because everyone is only ever arguing the pleb shit found within this narrow bandwidth. This is also why I said centrists always move leftward, because if the Overton window allows only one side of the aisle to drift further in one direction, center is going to become more and more tainted with saturations of that direction because the ratio is not equal. If you want to understand the world, you need to go far, far away from the Overton window. Also far more interesting. Otherwise, you get stuck in our pathetically boring world of, how being anti-trans leads to fascism. And I just want to drink myself into a stupor at that kind of asinine cringe. But anyway, back to Dev. This is the kind of bollocks Dev will try to defend.
What do you even need to... did I mute... Did you forget? Do you mute people and just move on?
Oh, he's trying to get me to trigger Dev. Apparently, Biden willfully retained and disclosed highly classified materials.
Right.
Yeah,
Did he, I've sent that to Dev too.
Yeah.
Really?
Also,
Really?
hold on. I looked into those papers too, because also it came out that like
I needed to
during
cope
the
and see.
interviews.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, cope and see the line kills me every time.
Well, no. So during those interviews, it was like a day or two after October 7th, and he was being interviewed by whoever it was that was interviewing him, and he appeared to be like completely out of his fucking mind. He didn't remember anything. He didn't know anything.
Unusual day for Biden.
Yeah, the
No.
president of the United States of
I'm not
America.
making a fucking. Shut up for a minute.
This
V.
is like a
V, I'm not
conversation
making an excuse.
about the court case that happened with President Joe Biden. Apparently, he had a episode in the court, and they're talking about the situation with him, and that whole episode with him in the court case that happened to be about his son.
I'm saying that like we now have it on paper. with
evidence
in a court filing where it's like Biden doesn't seem to be all fucking there to the point that we can't charge him with anything, and that's going to be fucking terrible going forward, because you know what that means?
Insanity.
The president is pleading like insanity from old age. Hold
on, just a second.
This was like,
let me finish.
And keep in mind, this was like 6 months ago, and I'm surprised the news didn't bother to report this until the whole debate happened, and this was like 6 months ago. Keep in mind, they said he was being senile in the court. They didn't bother to talk about this whole court case that happened with him. He was let go from that court case to face Donald Trump. And this was like, let me see. This was like 5 months ago. This was posted 5 months ago. And everyone in the political sphere knew about this, but they kind of forget about this in the memory hole of what happened. So, let's see. Dev, 15, insight, 18, insight. Wow. Sleight of hand, Dev. Wow, he rolled a lot.
Finish though, V. V, let me finish. No.
V,
let me finish, V.
Finish it.
V.
Finish it.
So, isn't it like the 24th Amendment where you can take a president out of the seat based on their mental health?
But what I want to say, and this is more important than all that shit, right?
Okay,
it
go
took
ahead.
you 4 fucking years, Dev. It took you 4 fucking years to realize that the United States president has dementia. It required the bureaucracy in order for him to make this dumbass statement, for you to finally figure out that the president of the United States of America isn't all in there.
Acting kind of strange.
Like after all this while, it's like just now you're like, wow.
No.
Good point, Dev.
Amen to that.
So here's the thing. So when you I'm sure we've all met like old people before who they don't have dementia, but they're like sometimes they're not all there, but then like sometimes they're fine and it's okay.
Yeah.
Like it's just
Biden, We're talking about Biden, right? Not just any old person, right?
Yeah, no. This is how we know Biden has dementia.
V is
so here's the thing though, V.
V is a medical in the medical field. Keep in mind, V is in the medical field. He is a doctor by profession. He knows this shit. So Deb is really arguing with a medical professional in the field of medicine. He's arguing with the field of
because when you people like they'll share these viral clips of like Biden falling over or Biden not knowing where he is on stage, and it's like
he made like the biggest election fraud in U.S. history. Yeah, like or that clip. Yeah.
At the same time, though, I've also watched full speeches of Biden's that have been recent, and he seems to be like mostly there, just old. And it's like, well, okay, viral clips aside, it's not necessarily conclusive. But now that we have like a multi-hour interview where with people who actually got him in a room in private just to talk to him, and they're recording all this stuff, and
Jesus
it's like, okay. Yes, V, you need more evidence for these fucking claims, V.
Dev, we had sufficient evidence.
Yes, you just did prove V's point there.
Hold on, I can explain.
That you need evidence? Yes, you did.
No, we had sufficient evidence.
Yes, we had sufficient evidence. You were the only one who had like, no, I need the state, the bureaucracy to rub my face with the papers on this.
Not the bureaucracy. No.
Hold on, let me explain it to them.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
Have you ever played Jeopardy or have you played Hangman, right? You play Hangman and you have like the word.
You've used this on before, V. I know what you're talking about.
And you say like you see the first letter F, then you have a line, and then you have another line, CK, right? And you're like, well, I can't possibly know what the word this is, right?
No, I get it, V. I get it.
Yeah,
but the point is,
I don't know. And it's not. Is it the
okay,
V?
V, you get it.
It's not
we know.
Yes, we get it. But V, you didn't have as many letters as you think you did.
But we really did.
We really did, Dev. We really did. No. We really did. No, Biden's dementia was we had the FU, the C, and the K. The only thing it was missing was a fucking dot at the end.
Agreed, Arch. Dev, would you like to say one more stupid thing?
Okay, listen. Someone in the chat actually outlined it in one line. I'm saying one line, okay? Now that it's legally decided, it can be used for legal stuff where mere knowledge couldn't. Yes, that's the point. You need it on paper. You need it as proof. You can't just... Like, obviously, Biden's been fucked in the head for years. We all know that.
Okay, then why...
You got your opinion about something doesn't need a fucking jury and beyond any shadow of a doubt.
Exactly. Thank you, V. Now, I don't know about all of you, but I rather enjoy the struggle session and watching Dev getting rinsed for that kind of stupidity. Now, seeing as we're on a roll here, can we mention that Dev tries to juggle a triple crescendo of ticking time bombs that all blow up in his face? 1, we didn't have sufficient evidence. 2, not the bureaucracy. 3, obviously Biden has been out of his mind for years, and we all knew this. Dev, you can't hold any of these positions simultaneously. We didn't have all the letters, yet we've known for years Biden was out of his mind, but it was somehow a mystery to the state. Not the bureaucracy, but we need evidence to be recognized by who, in case you want to invoke the 25th, because mere speculation is not enough. Yes, we all knew that Biden was nuts and out of his mind, but this was speculation, and we need more evidence to be recognized by not the bureaucracy, apparently. Question for you, Dev. If we knew Biden was out of his mind all of these years, but we didn't have sufficient evidence, what fucking evidence do you think the bureaucracy magically all of a sudden got their hands on for it now to be used in legal proceedings? The better question that no one seems to ask is, if we all knew this for freaking years, how the hell is he able to not be held accountable because he's too old and senile, yet still competent enough to run the nation? And why the hell is this only coming out 3 years into his supposed presidency?
Yeah, 3 years. And the sad part is that this happened for so long, and Dev doesn't want to acknowledge this issue. I don't know how stupid Dev is, but I actually noticed this stuff for a long time too. The funny thing about this is that Joe Biden was always acting strange. There was so many clips of him saying some stuff, especially like he kept using that same speech. Like there was the one speech that he talked about kids in a swimming pool. Remember that one? And it was like the most disturbing thing that he talked about. And there was also the there was so many things that he said that were disturbing, especially the speech about like he kept using the same speech about the Negro Leagues, and then he kind of talked to the Pope about the Negro Leagues. Like I don't know if that was like some edit, but it was kind of funny when he said to the Pope, and everyone was laughing. And there was also the incident with him that some people believe that he was shitting in himself, like in a diaper. And I do feel bad for him because I do feel bad for Joe Biden, especially when, especially there were incidents with him falling down on the staircase. Like he is struggling. Like there's a lot of clips of him struggling getting up the staircase. Like it was a very big struggle for him. It's like he doesn't have the strength that he used to.
See. Once again, I seem to be the only sane man asking these kinds of questions, but Dave is not yet done trying to contort himself into a pretzel desperately trying to defend the regime. So listen to the glowing commie turning into a fed boy.
No, but
that's not what I'm talking
in the
about.
case of the US government in particular, it never had that ability.
So you're saying that it never had the ability to ask.
It never had the right. Okay, it has the ability to do a lot of things. It never had the right to do it.
Okay, that's not in the First Amendment, though.
That's actually implied in the First Amendment, which is what the court ruled.
It's why they did it
and here's the thing.
Dev. They did it behind
Yeah, but a lot of the
now if
Constitution
there's a
is by
precedent-
implication, Dev.
Yeah,
Sure, but and now that there's a precedent, fine.
Request to Twitter. They did it behind closed doors. Why do you think that is?
No, they were official requests. They weren't public, but not everything's public. It doesn't have to be public.
Public. That's why the Twitter files bewildered people. These
Well,
weren't
no,
done
I get-
in the
yes.
public. They didn't get a court order. They didn't do it officially. They did it behind closed doors. They even had a line
here.
between
Hold on,
the feds and Twitter.
Let me put it this way. Here. So let's say your government contacts you, Sargon, and says, "We want you to take down this
Okay,
post
okay,
on your
that
Lotus
is
Eaters
one
website."
too
Okay?
hypothetical
Would that,
too many.
Like, would that
this
be
is
terrible?
nothing but hypothetical.
Yes, that'd be terrible. But the point is, it's been ruled as unconstitutional. They should never have done it, and the fact that they did it was wrong. We can call that justly corruption. Do you not agree?
I don't know about that. Not every broken law is corruption.
They violated the Constitution as ruled by the Supreme Court.
Yeah, not
that is
every
the highest
violation
law
of
of
the
the
Constitution
land.
is. No, not every violation of the law is corruption, though. There's other types of violations. I don't know if I use corruption.
Didn't say no. Hang on. I didn't say every type of thing is. I said this is.
Yes, and
when
I'm not
the
sure if
U.S.
this
government, in this instance, goes behind. Like, again, it's not public. They do it in private. They do it. Make sure the public isn't aware, and to
He is
censor
kinda
U.S.
correct on
citizens,
this one.
which is, of course, after the fact ruled as a direct violation of the Constitution. We can call that corruption. That is political corruption because it was done for partisan reasons by partisan actors.
Right? The government just gave the banks the ability to deplatform people. The government.
No, but hang on, V. Hang on.
Just said,
That's a
hey,
different conversation, V.
Hang on. Right, that is crystal clear corruption, and I don't see why you would argue the opposite.
Because I'm not sure it is. I think it's a different kind of violation.
Okay.
But I'm not. Now that I'm on the spot, I'm not sure what I would call it. But I don't think it's corruption. Well, no, and I'll tell you why. I think the feds genuinely believe.
No. It's fine. How would corruption?
No, V. Hang on. I want to hear the answer. I want to hear the answer.
So, I genuinely think that the people who were working for the federal government who asked Twitter, "Hey, can you take down the Hunter Biden laptop story?" I think they genuinely thought it was a Russian op, and they were like, "We got to censor this bullshit."
Wasn't she the one who did it?
What do you base on this?
And
Like,
they
why?
No, it's Jen
why do you
Psaki.
think
Jen Psaki.
that they genuinely thought this? Like,
No,
what
hang on,
is
Dev.
your evidence?
V. Hang on a second.
I
The thing is, right?
it's a long-
Dev is like appealing to some nebulous unknown person, but it was going to be Jen Psaki, right? So you think Jen Psaki genuinely believed that these?
I think
Twitter.
This is like a lot of the
I
stuff
think
that's been going
someone
on.
genuinely believed that the Hunter Biden laptop story was actually not a true story. It was a Russian psyop, and they said, "You got to take this shit down because we saw what happened."
Jen
in
Psaki
2016.
who made the
You can't-"
requests, wasn't it?
Maybe okay.
Or her
then
office.
Then fine.
It's her office, right? So again,
it was-
like
it was-
you appeal to a
hold on.
hypothetical or an abstract when we can name the individuals.
Genuine, you can name them, but nonetheless, it was a genuine, true belief that was it was a genuine false belief. They believed it, but they were wrong.
Why do you assume this?
But no. Let's assume that's true, right? Let's assume that these people genuinely believed, and they're like, "Oh my God, this is Russian corruption, Russian laptop fraud, whatever
Only
you want to call
was
it, right? Russian
verbally
misinformation." So fucking
verifiable
what?
somehow. Oh,
You
wait,
don't
it
get to
was
violate the U.S.
verifiable. Yeah, it
Constitution and the
was.
rights of the citizens. That's just
Okay,
off
so-
the table. That is off the table in
Okay,
every circumstance, which is what
Now-
the Supreme Court ruled. This is
Okay,
why
so-
it's
so-
called corruption.
Okay. Now let me lay it out, okay? From the other point of view. So the other point of view is this is actually a real op. Okay, this is a real false story that the Russians have planted.
Yeah.
We should now ask various outlets, various platforms to say, "Hey, we think this is fake, and we think it's going to affect the election again. Can you take it down?" From
You're not
that
allowed to
point
do
of
that.
view, it's a completely reasonable ask.
It's against the Constitution.
And now the court has ruled that, yes, but nonetheless.
This has got to be one of the most pathetic defenses of state corruption I have ever seen in my entire life. Cope & See doesn't even remotely begin to cover it. This video is not even 2 weeks old? Secondly, it takes all of 15 seconds of searching to find articles such as this, where an IRS supervisory agent told Congress in a testimony that the FBI had in fact verified the laptop's authenticity in November of 2019. So they sat on it for a whole year, knew what was on the laptop, did nothing, and several months later went, "Oh yeah, it's full of Ruski disinformation." So they either did nothing, just sat on their asses, which shows utter negligence and a willingness to look the other way, which is corruption, knew what was on it and said nothing about it, which is corruption, or told people its contents without knowing what was on it, which is a lie of ignorance, also corruption. This is a man who, when told no, he wants to see a larger state apparatus, said, not necessarily, it depends what it is. Newsflash, you wanker, that means yes. It depends means I'll green light it if I like it, i.e. the growth of the state. And I have to point this out because this genuinely irks me. This bloody Canadian is the Sam Harris of politics. This is the exact same rationale that he tried to pull when it came to the sniffle season. Oh, if only it was worse, it would have totally justified the actions of the regime.
Yeah.
Pull the forearm out of your ass and stop crying in defense of the state. This is beyond pathetic. I want to know, what the hell does he do this for? What psychological barrier is he getting slammed up against constantly to take the L's?
Yeah.
What does he get out of it?
And I agree
Does he
with
like
this.
being humiliated? Is it like a fetish or something? It's just bizarre, but anyway. I want to discuss the dilemma that I see with a lot of content creators. I briefly touched on this before, so let me try and expound on it. All content creators talk about the world how they'd like to see it, which is fair enough, really. I mean, we listen to individuals, and people tend to take it badly when you advocate for a world that either robs them of their so-called freedoms or contradicts their current beliefs. You see, this is why monarchy is met with instant revulsion, because they assume their lack of democracy, which is a false god, by the way, is instantly going to devolve into tyranny. Or they think you want to be the monarch because they're actually power-hungry themselves. And you know those kind of types. Oh, I'm totally okay with monarchy, so long as I get to be the king. I guarantee those people's conception of monarchy comes from frickin' Disney movies. But here's the point that I'm trying to make. And I actually had a discussion with V about this as well. To me, you technically can't be a centrist. You could only exist as one. And should you wish to play within this artificially created dome of boundaries, there's only two sides, and you can't serve two masters. You have to pick one. It's stay or move. And moving a little is still moving. Like Smith said, the Overton window is steered by the elites. So you're just being moved between two acceptable points. You don't have any actual positions or principles. To be a centrist is to be the floating corpse of politics. If you simply get moved between 2 points, you have no control over your own position. You see, this is why I said centrists are just leftists in disguise, because when push comes to shove, the fact that they move within the gradient at all means they will become leftists. If you had any conviction, you'd be a man of the right. But V said to me, his ideology is simple: leave me the fuck alone. And he will vote for either left or right as long as they leave him alone. He doesn't have a noble goal or desire to reshape society. You look at the game that he's currently making. He pushes degeneracy. His own words, by the way. He's okay with abortion, and he doesn't mind homosexuals. Now, personally, I don't think V is quite that black and white, and here is why. Because he said to me, given all of this, is he left or right wing? I said he's a right winger because he values being left the fuck alone above all else, which is currently a trait of the right. This is why I said to him, he's the worst sort of libertarian. Because as he points out, but this was a leftist in the 90s. And I said, exactly. And now it's moved because it's not static. There is no principle in being a centrist. You're nothing more than the floating corpse. You're not really a centrist because you want to be left alone. You're still ultimately choosing left or right because you're choosing the side that is going to fight against the other side that wants to intrude on you.
Yeah.
You're not a centrist. You're just a single issue voter. But now here is the dilemma, because he said, I'm pushing degeneracy. And I thought, well, hold on a minute now here, V, we have a conundrum. You said you want to be left alone, you don't have a noble goal or desire to reshape society. Now what happens when someone else considers you pushing that degeneracy as having the impact of shaping society for the worst? Why should your freedom to push that degeneracy trump their desire to live in a more wholesome society? Somebody's freedom is going to get impeded here. And whose is it? Is it yours because you're a peddler of the unsavory, or theirs because they're too much of a moralist? Because either way, you're pushing power into some entity and enabling it to perform an action. Now in this scenario, personally, I would restrict V's freedom, because he cares for nothing except himself. He has no principles at all. He will move to any side that enables him to push his degeneracy, which makes him totally self-serving and centered, and thus objectively evil. In this scenario, V is no better than a drug dealer selling a legal high. His whole attitude is, well, I'm just responding to the market. If someone gets addicted and ruins their life, that is not my problem. I didn't force him to buy my product. It's all voluntary. Now, from his freedom above all capitalistic kind of perspective, this is totally normal. Remember, evil can be both enabled and disabled, either by the masses or top-down power.
And he's
the people can disable it through self-regulation or enable it by having none. The church can either disable it via punishment or enable it by refusing to dish out any punishment. Freedom is not a value, it's a variable. Now, despite my heavy criticism at V, I know he favors religion over psychology, say. He will not look down upon the religious if he sees it benefits someone. He does actually think Christianity is a good moral guide. But I also understand his bias, and this political perspective is entirely different depending on the culture and history of each nation. He's lived under the Iron Curtain. Freedom in his mind absolutely is a value. The same way that I've seen democracy destroy my homeland, I absolutely hate it. Our perspectives are shaped by the walls of our nation. Whereas with Dev, his perspective is shaped by the state pounding the walls of his arse. Yeah. V, however, is still a dirty materialist who doesn't understand sentimentality, especially in the form of vehicles. But this is the issue that we run into here, because you want everyone in society to have the conviction of the best sort of libertarian, being able to engage in their vices and not have it manifest in a negative manner and taint the social fabric. Because when they do, you don't want some top-down power to restrict your freedom when you happen to be the exception that can keep their vices in order. Now, obviously, this is not a particularly realistic worldview. This is an idealistic utopia, because we can't all be the exception. As Juan Donoso Cortez said, there's only two controlling powers, religion or the state, self-discipline or political power. And if you don't want the state correcting behavior, then something else must keep the people morally orientated and society in working order. There is no central position here. You have to pick one. Cheers for watching, and once again, I apologize for nothing.
So yeah, that's kind of the thing that points out about Dev and why people are believing Dev is bad faith. And this is like another video that people have talked about by Ace 1918. Yeah, a lot of people talk about him and his issues, and this is kind of the thing that bothers me the most about this whole issue about Dev. I think Dev is going crazy, to be honest with you guys, because his behavior is displayed on social media. People have been talking about this for a while, and I do believe that this is becoming a problem for him. But that's all I know. But I don't hold it against him. I know that he's just trying to, help his friends out. And this is what I see about him, is that he's not a bad person. It's just he's kind of crazy. But trying to do this type of shit with people that he barely doesn't even know. And I can understand the issues with him on his Discord. Like, people are literally laughing about this drama. So, as far as I know, that's what's going on. So anyways, I got to get out of here because I got to go to work. Real life stuff. That's what happened to him. Because this is kind of the thing that's happening to him. And I don't think he's a bad person. I think he probably wants to explore his history. Yeah, that's like my next door neighbor. He's a really nice guy. So anyways, you guys take care. Bye-bye. Because I'm out of here.